In a family reunion like no other, the biblical tale of Cain and Abel unfolds with the sibling rivalry that would make even the Kardashians raise an eyebrow. Meet Cain, the eldest son of Adam and Eve, who harbors an inviolable green monster within. And then there's Abel, the charming younger brother, with an impressive knack for offering sacrifices that please the divine bigwig upstairs. Things start innocently enough, with Cain tending to the fields like a diligent farmer, while Abel prefers the company of fluffy sheep. As tradition dictates, they both offer sacrifices to the big man upstairs. But here's where the drama kicks in. Abel, the brown-noser extraordinaire, offers up his finest lambs, hand-picked and primed for divine satisfaction. God, always a sucker for a juicy lamb chop, accepts Abel's offering with enthusiasm and a heavenly thumbs up. Now enter Cain, who's been sweating it out in the fields, probably sporting some serious farmer's tan. He decides to put his best foot forward and offers up some humble fruits and veggies from his harvest. But alas, God takes a pass on this veggie platter, and Cain's ego takes a serious blow. No divine fireworks for him. As resentment festers within Cain's soul, he invites his brother for a friendly stroll in the fields. But friendly turns out to be the last word anyone would use to describe this outing. Seething with jealousy and anger, Cain unleashes his inner Hulk and clubs Abel to death, much to everyone's dismay. Divine justice swoops in, and God confronts Cain with a question that's all too familiar to siblings caught red-handed. Where is your brother? Feeling cornered, Cain unleashes the world's very first epic dodge, replying with the infamous phrase, "Am I my brother's keeper?" Smooth move, Cain, smooth move. God, in no mood for this tomfoolery, curses Cain to be a wanderer, forever bearing the mark of his murderous deed. The guilt-ridden wanderer sets out on a solitary journey, with only his own thoughts and a lifetime of regret for company. In the shadows of ancient manuscripts and the whispers of time, there lies a tale that delves into the depths of human nature. Sibling rivalry and the haunting specter of fratricide. Welcome, dear seekers of knowledge, to the enigmatic realm of the Cain and Abel myth. A story woven into the tapestry of the Bible, shrouded in mystery and bearing the marks of its intricate cultural tapestry. Dating the origins of the Cain and Abel story is an intricate dance, as scholars navigate the labyrinthine corridors of textual analysis and historical context. While the exact date of its composition remains elusive, it is believed to be a relatively late addition to the biblical narrative, emerging amidst the swirling sands of ancient Near Eastern civilizations. The dating game of ancient myths, where scholars don their detective hats and embark on a quest for the elusive truth. In the case of Cain and Abel, our scholarly companions have traced its origins to a rather intriguing period, the Babylonian exile, approximately 600 BCE, a time when the Israelites found themselves in the land of hanging gardens and mythical wonders. Picture this. It's the 6th century BCE, and the Israelites, like involuntary tourists, have been whisked away to the captivating realm of Babylon. Surrounded by the exotic allure of foreign gods and cultural exchanges, they found themselves crafting narratives that reflected their collective experiences. But dear wanderers, the story of Cain and Abel was no overnight creation. Scholars propose that it underwent a gradual process of development and refinement, with various sources and traditions weaving together like a patchwork quilt. As the sands of time continued to shift, the final redactions of the Cain and Abel story took place during the Persian or Hellenistic period. Yes, my witty friends, the Hellenistic period is the era when the Greek influence permeated the eastern lands, infusing them with a dash of intellectual intrigue. So imagine scribes perched in their dusty chambers, adding those finishing touches to the biblical narrative. Perhaps they scribbled with quills while pondering the fascinating philosophical ideas of their Hellenistic neighbors, striving to find a delicate balance between ancient traditions and the influences of the wider world. This mingling of Babylonian exile and Hellenistic musings gave birth to the layered tale we now know as the Cain and Abel myth. It became a reflection of the Israelites' complex journey, a concoction of cultural borrowings, and a narrative that resonated with timeless themes of sibling rivalry, divine favoritism, and the consequence of unchecked emotions. So as we delve into the enigmatic depths of the Cain and Abel myth, let us raise our scholarly glasses to the Babylonian exile and the Hellenistic period. Those transformative chapters that shaped the final composition of this ancient tale. With wit and intellect, let us navigate the labyrinthine corridors of history, unraveling the layers of its creation and savoring the intellectual delights it offers. Drawing inspiration from a long lineage of fratricide myths that echo through the corridors of time, the story of Cain and Abel stands as a testament to the enduring fascination with the complex dynamics between brothers. As if peering through a distorted mirror, one can glimpse the influences of surrounding ancient Near Eastern myths, where tales of sibling strife and violence existed long before the ink of Genesis dried. The narrative unfolds with Cain and Abel, two sons of Adam and Eve, offering their sacrifices to the divine. However, like the bitter venom of a serpent's bite, jealousy courses through Cain's veins as his own offering is spurned. Fueled by envy, a chilling act transpires, an act that would forever etch Cain's name into the annals of infamy. This haunting tale explores themes of divine favoritism, the consequences of unchecked emotions, and the depths to which human jealousy can descend. Its placement within the biblical narrative serves as a mirror reflecting the complexities of family bonds, highlighting the frailty of human nature and the everlasting shadows cast by fratricidal strife. The origin myths which influence the Cain and Abel story have the deepest roots to human storytelling, which surely cross into the prehistory period before ancient Sumer and Egypt, 6000 BCE, due to sibling rivalry being something all humans have commonly experienced. You can say Cain and Abel represent the first humans' downward spiral after the epic fall of their parents Adam and Eve. In a sense, they represent all humans who hold hate towards their siblings. Many of the ancient mythic antecedents which later influenced the tale of Adam and Eve represent gods and not mere mortals, but in the storytelling of their time, even the gods could die as men. So much of our focus will show the oldest myths in the world which influenced the Cain and Abel story directly or indirectly. These Israelites, under Babylon's captivity in the 6th century BCE, would have heard of the most ancient of myths found in ancient Sumer, retold in the later Atrahasis epic and Epic of Gilgamesh, which rework the oldest gods of their ancestors from 6000 BCE. They would have been aware of the Egyptian tales of old, which place Osiris and Seth as the original brotherly betrayal story around 4300 BCE. One of the oldest Greek myths of Perseus and Acrisius would have spread like wildfire during Alexander the Great's conquest of Hellenism. Around the 4th century BCE, the Romans' tale of Romulus and Remus was probably written. You will find common thematic connections to the Cain and Abel story, and whether these connections are genealogical or culturally impactful, it changes nothing pertaining to the Cain and Abel story being myth. Even in some Canaanite texts and inscriptions, Baal and Yahweh are mentioned together around 1000 BCE, possibly as brothers or divine allies. These references indicate a complex interplay between different religious systems and the assimilation of deities into the evolving Israelite religious framework. Though the debate is up in the air of exact details, it wouldn't be a shock to me if Baal and Yahweh were brothers in the Canaanite mythology, and one brother killed the other out of anger in a version of their myth similar to the myth of Seth killing Osiris. So let us begin with the mythic antecedents that most scholars think directly influenced the Adam and Eve myth from Mesopotamia. Remember, the Israelites most likely wrote these myths originally during their exile in Babylon, where scholars see a reversal of the rise of civilization in Genesis, while the Mesopotamian myths praise the ziggurat as the highest status of humanity. This was humanity being at the height with the gods. In the epic playground of Mesopotamian mythology, let me regale you with the curious tale of Enki and Ninharsog. Picture it: a divine sibling squabble of cosmic proportions, complete with killer plants and a connection to the biblical Cain and Abel story. It's a mythological soap opera you won't want to miss. First, meet Enki, the mischievous trickster god, like Loki from Norse mythology, who enjoys stirring up trouble with a twinkle in his eye. Then there's Ninharsog, his sister and goddess of fertility, with a penchant for creating life and overseeing all things green and leafy. In a moment of sibling rivalry, Ninharsog plants 8 remarkable seeds, each sprouting into unique and marvelous vegetation. With pride radiating from her leafy creations, she presents them to Enki, expecting a pat on the back and a round of applause. But alas, Enki, the eternal prankster, decides to take sibling rivalry to a whole new level. He cunningly plots against Ninharsog's precious plants and one by one snuffs out their existence. 8 innocent plants, mowed down by the hand of a playful deity. The divine version of planticide, if you will. Now, let's make the connection to the biblical Cain and Abel story. In the tale of Cain and Abel, Cain offers a humble harvest of fruits and vegetables to the big guy upstairs, while Abel's sacrificial lambs are showered with divine approval. Just like Enki's nefarious act, God rejects Cain's offering and accepts Abel's, leaving Cain feeling like his organic efforts were simply veggie fodder. The parallel lies in the rejection of the plant-based offerings in both stories, whether it's 8 marvelous plants or a humble basket of fruits. The divine preference seems to lean towards animal sacrifices. In both cases, the protagonists experience a mixture of rejection, jealousy, and simmering resentment. So there you have it, a witty connection between the Enki and Ninharsog myth and the Cain and Abel story. Sibling rivalries, divine favoritism, and rejected plant offerings. These myths serve as reminders that even in the realm of gods, family drama and vegetable vendettas can leave their mark through ancient narratives. Another notable parallel that has been examined is the curse of the earth in the Sumerian myth of Enlil and Ninlil. In this myth, Enlil, the Sumerian god of wind and storms, impregnates Ninlil, a goddess associated with grain and fertility. However, Enlil is subsequently cursed by the other gods and banished to the underworld for his actions. The curse extends to the earth, rendering it barren and infertile. While the parallel may not be exact, as it involves a divine curse rather than a personal one, the theme of the earth being cursed as a consequence of wrongdoing resonates with the biblical account of Cain. In the biblical narrative, Cain commits the grievous act of fratricide, killing his brother Abel out of jealousy. As a consequence, God curses the ground, making it unproductive and causing Cain to become a wanderer. But that's not the only potential influence on the Cain and Abel story. Let us delve into the Adapa myth. In this Mesopotamian tale, Adapa, a mortal endowed with great wisdom and knowledge, finds himself embroiled in a fateful encounter with divine beings. Through a series of trials and encounters, Adapa grapples with the dichotomy of mortal limitations and divine aspirations, ultimately making a choice that seals his destiny. Here we witness themes of human ambition, the yearning for immortality, and the delicate balance between mortals and the divine. Now let's shift your gaze to the biblical account of Cain and Abel, a tale etched into the sacred text of ancient Israel. This narrative explores the tumultuous relationship between two brothers, culminating in a tragic act of fratricide. Jealousy, divine favoritism, and the consequences of unchecked emotions form the core of this story, painting a vivid portrait of the complexities inherent in human interactions. Drawing these threads together, we discern intriguing parallels between the Adapa myth and the Cain and Abel narrative. Both tales delve into the fundamental human experience of grappling with existential dilemmas, the longing for divine recognition, and the disruptive forces of jealousy and rivalry within familial relationships. Moreover, they highlight the eternal quest for understanding the intricate dynamics between mortals and the divine realm. Another ancient 5,000 to 6,000 year old myth that bears similarities to the story of Cain and Abel. One such myth comes from ancient Sumer, predating the biblical account. It involves the story of Damuzid and his sister Geshtinana. In Sumerian mythology, Damuzid was a shepherd, while Geshtinana was associated with vegetation and fertility. The story goes that Damuzid was favored by the gods for his offerings and success as a shepherd, which led to his sister's jealousy. In a tragic turn of events, Geshtinana's envy got the better of her, and she orchestrated her brother's death. In some versions, she conspired with demons or deceived Damuzid into a situation where he was captured and killed. The myth of Damuzid and Geshtinana shares similarities with the story of Cain and Abel, particularly in the terms of sibling rivalry, jealousy, and the act of one sibling causing the death of the other. It explores themes of divine favoritism, the consequences of envy, and the intricate dynamics of familial relationships. It's fascinating to see how these myths, spanning various cultures and time periods, reflect similar motifs and narratives. They highlight the timeless themes of human nature, the complexities of sibling dynamics, and the consequences of destructive emotions resonating across generations and cultures. Gather around, mortals, for a tale straight out of Pharaoh's playbook, where sibling rivalry reaches godly proportions and divine drama reigns supreme. Prepare yourselves for the mythic showdown of Osiris and Seth, a tale that dances in the sands of Egypt and shares uncanny connections with the biblical saga of Cain and Abel. Picture Osiris, the majestic ruler of the Nile, beloved by his subjects and oozing charisma like a fashionable pharaoh. Alongside him is Seth, the wild and unpredictable brother, with a penchant for chaos and a dash of jealousy. In the annals of sibling dynamics, this duo takes the cake. One fateful day, Seth's green-eyed monster gets the better of him, and he cunningly hatches a plot against his illustrious brother. With a mixture of deceit and brute force, Seth slays Osiris, sending shockwaves through the divine realm. It's a divine murder mystery with a twist, where brotherly love gives way to a turbulent tale of power and revenge. Now let's draw the parallels to the biblical story of Cain and Abel. In both narratives, we witness a brotherly clash that leads to the untimely demise of one sibling. Cain, driven by envy, takes Abel's life in a fit of rage, forever branding the tale as a cautionary tale of fratricidal fury. The connection lies not only in the fratricide, but also in the themes of jealousy and divine judgment. In both stories, the perpetrators face consequences for their deeds, be it the divine curse placed upon Cain, or the subsequent divine retribution Seth endures for his heinous act. It's a cosmic game of cause and effect, where divine justice intervenes in the face of family betrayal. So as we venture through the mythical tapestry of Osiris and Seth, we find a profound connection to the Cain and Abel narrative. Sibling rivalries, acts of violence, and divine repercussions serve as universal reminders that the complexities of family dynamics transcend time and culture. Remember, dear mortals, whether in the arid sands of Egypt or the fertile lands of biblical tales, the human condition and its complexities remain a timeless source of intrigue, lessons, and the occasional witty mythological parallel. Okay now, history buffs and myth enthusiasts, for a legendary tale that takes us to the mighty city of Rome and back to the biblical saga of Cain and Abel. Let me regale you with the story of Romulus and Remus, the feisty twins who sprang from divine lineage, fought like gladiators, and left a mark on both Roman and biblical lore. Imagine the ancient landscape of Italy, where the river Tiber whispered secrets to the gods and destiny was written into the stars. Enter Romulus and Remus, born to Rhea Silvia and the mischievous deity Mars. These brothers were as different as gladiatorial combat and a Roman chariot race, and their destinies clashed like swords on the battlefield. In a cruel twist of fate, Romulus and Remus were abandoned as infants, left to the mercy of the wild and ferocious nature surrounding them. Miraculously, they were saved by the nurturing paws of a she-wolf, who became their foster mother. Talk about an unconventional family dynamic. As the brothers matured, the gods whispered in their ears, filling their minds with dreams of grandeur and a yearning for dominion. They set out to establish a city and became co-founders of Rome. But alas, power struggles ensued, and sibling rivalry ignited like a Roman candle. In an explosive moment of heated disagreement, Romulus, ever the alpha twin, dealt the fatal blow to Remus, leaving him sprawled on the ground like a fallen gladiator. It was a fratricidal act that echoed the biblical tale of Cain and Abel, where sibling envy led to bloodshed and forever imprinted upon our collective consciousness. Now let's connect the threads to the Cain and Abel narrative. In both stories, we witness the destructive force of jealousy and the tragic consequences that arise from sibling strife. Whether it's Cain's jealous wrath or Romulus's fatal blow, the blood of brothers strains the pages of ancient myth and biblical legend. But the connection doesn't end there. The themes of founding cities and establishing civilizations also intertwine. Both Cain and Romulus take the reins of destiny, founding cities that bear their names. Cain with the city of Enoch, and Romulus with the eternal city of Rome. The tales carry echoes of ambition that can lead to the glory or the tarnishings of souls. So dear friends, as we tread the ancient roads of Rome and delve into the depths of myth, we discover the intertwined threads of Cain and Abel and Romulus and Remus, sibling rivalries, fatal blows, and the consequences of unchecked emotions transcend time and culture, reminding us of the complexities of human nature again. Remember, whether in the halls of Rome or the pages of sacred texts, these ancient stories continue to captivate and intrigue, offering lessons, laughter, and a touch of mythological wit. Ladies and gentlemen, myth enthusiasts and seekers of ancient wisdom, prepare yourselves for an enthralling journey into the mysterious origins of Enoch, the next captivating chapter in our series unraveling the mythological antecedents of biblical characters. But before we embark on this thrilling quest, let us pause and reflect on the intriguing web of connections we have uncovered thus far. Indeed, the biblical authors, in their quest to convey profound truths through storytelling, wove together threads of ancient mythologies, creating a tapestry of captivating narratives. As we have seen, the story of Cain and Abel, with its echoes of sibling betrayal and divine favoritism, finds intriguing parallels in myths that predate it by centuries. The ancient world abounds with tales of mythical brothers, their destinies entwined with betrayal and tragedy. But hold on to your intellectual hats, dear viewers, for our journey does not end with Cain and Abel. No. We venture further into the enigmatic depths of the biblical narrative, where we encounter the enigmatic figure of Enoch, a mysterious character in the genealogical lineage from Adam and Eve to the heroic Abraham. Here, we tread upon uncertain ground, where dates and timelines defy conventional understanding. What are the origins of this bewildering genealogy? What myths and influence shaped the biblical author's portrayal of Enoch and the extraordinary lifespan attributed to these ancient figures? These questions beckon us to unravel the layers of myth and historical context surrounding Enoch's enigmatic tale. In our upcoming video, we shall embark on an expedition traversing the annals of ancient mythology, venturing through Mesopotamian legends, Egyptian cosmologies, and other tantalizing sources that may hold the keys to unlocking the mysteries of Enoch's origins. We shall navigate the murky waters of symbolism, explore the realm of divine encounters, and seek the hidden connections that bridge myth and scripture. But dear viewers, we cannot undertake this quest without your participation. We implore you to subscribe to our channel, ensuring you do not miss a single episode of this riveting series. Hit that like button to show your enthusiasm for unraveling the ancient tapestry of myths and legends. And above all, we beseech you to leave a comment, sharing your favorite moments from this video and your burning questions as we delve into the cryptic origins of Enoch. So buckle up, myth seekers, and join us on this enthralling expedition as we journey through the ancient world, unearthing the influences, connections, and enigmatic origins that shape the captivating characters of biblical lore. Together we shall unravel the mysteries that lie beneath the surface, illuminating the profound truths and timeless wisdom hidden within these ancient tales. Subscribe now, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments section, for this is just the beginning of our voyage into the realms of myth and biblical mysteries.